I've been ever since I was born. At the commencement, I adore squash, beans, and corn. Lots of strings and horns over the beat. Swing of a one. Outdrum the outcome. The child of athlete is back in action. Fact, not fashion. Most y'all internet has-beens more like commercials. With whack acting from commercial to action. I'm laughing back up to laughing. I spit man, God, civilization, John G. Jackson, like a gap in the last dragon. Cosmic memory of an Atlantean. E3 technology is who I am in skin. Walking the landmass is Atlas. Some say I'm batshit crazy, but that's the masses for you. Can you blame the people? Most been trained to be feeble, tame sheeple by the evil who means to keep you cashless in the fastest society. Where the vax and the mass are the blame for the dying street. You the root race, they medieval. Eat the cheap food they feed you or read through these fools. Restorer or rebel. Can't play God unless acquainted with the devil. Polarity you choose, acquainted with its level. Frequency, distance is an illusion. So please unveil the confusion. Look beyond the shadow of the late or hollow years. See the far and distant lands where tomorrow appears. Put it in perspective. Decision of each being the latest, most accurate vision of peace. Where each one teach one to reach one. Freeze one from under the trees and stump of the impeached one. Remember, all skin folk are not kinfolk. While I hold a sword in my left hand, I write a pen to pen quotes. Word to see Lord L. I'ma be more hell to these foreigners till they leave our air, land, and seashore and sell their asses right back across that agua. Screw y'all's dishonorable dogma. Something proper with no lube. The past 25 years I've been the son of solitude. The oil that fused my chakras is cruel. Love my people towards the evils. I'm heartless and rude. Firstborn of Inkle, the dawn of the twinkle. Twinkle little sun, I got bright and I could think too. I blink through a wrinkle in time, rip down, winkle and rhyme. And my shit stink too to link you to source. Yes, you rather have AI sink you. I not only know the ledge, I'm on the brink too. They wanna extinct you, your essence is viable. Crimes against humanity, your oppressors liable. They try to write on my recital, yet my presence vital as the session's title. Welcome to the seventh cycle. The heart of man is as the sun. The reception order for the divine ray of spiritual intuition descended unto man. The brain of man is as the moon, the source of human intellect. The body of man is the earthly vehicle. Let the sun impregnate the moon, or let the spiritual fire prompt the human intellect. And let the result fructify in the womb of a purified body. And you will develop the son of the sun, the quintessence, the stone of the wise, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. I teach you up. The human heart cries out for help. The human soul implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand. But the man who hears and understands we call crazy and flee from him. This a call to my ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Sun storm each clan better. Planting the devil to stand the weather. It's a must we band together. Put that on Abraham and Esther. From Castilians to conquistadors. Iberians and traitorous Moors. Didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders, or disguised traders. Missionaries, Islamic Christians with dictionaries. No mutual goal to coexist. Those warships in our tributaries. Military tactics to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties and oath. Why expect war from those sworn to conquest except war? They didn't bring women during the invasions. The minds were on rape, miscegenations, the spread of mis and disinformation, which manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Washington, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcy and Brooklyn, projects and hoods while we were pushed in Cali to Florida. Harley Cushion, it's like the terrorists, never ending shipment of American Indians from Belize to the Caribbean. Gives I shot this sheriff meaning. Shut my field can be read, no book. Flows in my veins were prepared with no hook. Behind the back pass with flair, no look. This beef is rare, get fed, no cook. We're peaceful people, they call us animals. Truth of the matter, they were cannibals. Practice unclean religious rites. Evidence tangible, check the annals. I bring heat, this beast flammable. Feel free to critique this cannibal. If your brain's deeply manacled, release or get treated damnable. Used to be Hannibal, I talk black hole. Fighting the line, now the chief's back with bulk. That's big muscle drip up to tussle with Uncle Sam, big brother and his clique. I put that on Abraham and Esther. It's a must, we band together. Plant in the devil to stand the weather. Sun or storm, each clan better. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Rid the land of the damn settlers. This is a call to my ancestors. based on real life. It's nothing like the old school. High vibrations is what it feels like. It's nothing like the old school. This goes way back, before I was knee deep out in them streets, ganging it. Like the prison of that old crazy mess. This is what really makes me me, y'all, at its core. So check it out. I arrived in 1970, August 14th, to be precise. Eldest son, firstborn of 5, alive as the Christ. Had sunny days, just like I had spooky nights, which accounts for my old lows. Had my newly heist, childhood not of the norm. Excellence, how I perform. Deep down, I was bad, that's why now I bring the storm. Memorize Psalms and other passages of scriptures after learning the Quran to fend off the jin's whispers. It was like my mother and father tried to hide us for the Pontius Pilates, Kiheras, and other outsiders. No celebrating holidays, kept away from ungodly ways of playing games, calling names the cost of what folly pays. I'm saying you wouldn't believe such discipline, wishing to make friends with the neighborhood children. But it was like wish again from early on was taught I was different, not better, just gifted. There's a big difference. Had telescopes, microscopes, chemistry sets, books, maps, paints, carpentry tools, wrote poems not yet known as raps. Learned alphabets and mathematics from my mama. Learned meditation and martial arts from my father. Watch my uncles create music, show I beat drums, play keyboards with my dad, the guitar he strum. Didn't consume pork nor beef. I would eat plums, not knowing this was part of who I would become. True story. This is based on real life. It's before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of light. High vibrations, it's what it feels like. True story. This is based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations, now around it feels like 1982 was no longer separated from the outside world off the porch. Yeah, I made it. First noticed her standing in my b-boy stance. Leapt at the chance and began to break dance on wooden floors. I got sore from the workout. It was me, Chili T, my man Shabazz, Muhammad, and Phil G. When I met her on 93rd, next Jeffrey Manor, master of all crews, was written on my banner. The manner of my approach. Yo, I rocked her. World with backspins, atomic flares, and helicopters, hella proper. Guys that were awesome, tried to get fresh. Up at Basma and on commercial, attempted to test a bus moves on linoleum. Loved her on cardboard, roughed it off on concrete with combinations I had stored. Poured my heart into her around the time I met Dula, Yusef, Rashi, Stony Island Park, CVS, School, the battleground, found passion. Another element turned my heart into graffiti, evidence of being present. Taggers united together, network of writers who most times put all-nighters. True riders, 1987, we were kings of the line. Won the epic war with Sass on the dead rhyme. My guys, Dickie, Tron, Advanced, Plain Sound, and Vanish. I do this for you and the true TUG clan is the bandits. True story, it's based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of light. High vibrations, that's what it feels like. True story, based on real life. This before all of jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations is what it feels like. Let's clear this what's up? I am the great matriarchs, give to America, rare, uncut, sun-complected, yet the wretched of the earth. Though my old blood's majestic, shall accept the most rejected. Nevertheless, check the record of my birth. Never read a book for knowledge of myself. The silence I felt, not from wildness of wealth, but from rawness of my breath. I receive meditatively. My mother and father educated me. I often think creatively. I've walked through a few schools of thought that truth is all and has no cause, yet the cause of everything. Falsehood is no, yet the manifest of right. What's in darkness comes to light. These words Timothy didn't write, that didn't quite shit well. We're the gang of y'all when it comes to fiction, yo. Truth is stranger, y'all. I think that y'all the brain the fall of a government.
Degrees up in this month. I didn't know it was uneven like that.
Black folks are mixed with being realistic and in mystic housing. We've allowed this shit from
started here
a
couple minutes ago.
Complicit in spirit with their metaphors. Metaphysics also makes me America's curse. I'm not in competition with men or women. I'm defending my household from those who are pretending. Garbed and skinned the same as us, taking up the same name as us, who attempt to claim the same reign as us. Y'all to be satisfied with societies like Westworld, where Bernard's really Arnold. Dolores is your best girl. Universal soldier and robot is now the task force. Advanced passport is on crash course. With or without y'all, I'ma own my road and bring fire upon them. That's on my soul.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, remember, Baby Girl Slaughter's reading this. I'm gonna enjoy breaking this down to y'all. Oh my God, y'all gonna, man. Jamil did his thing. I started the second book, but I went back to the first. I had to do some more highlighting. Remember the Immortals, right? The Spartans, 300. That's who we were fighting. But the people playing Spartans aren't the people who they're showing. We were the Spartans by the narrative. And it had nothing to do. That was, I would say, Spartans was based on, and the history's a lot of these much made. Spartans is pre-Egypt. Egypt was no small place that's based on pyramids, palaces, you name it. It was out. Things were giant too. A lot of it's underground, a lot of it destroyed. I can't even get into it. People having a hard time still understanding that America and so-called Russia and all that was all connected. But I'm not here to talk about that. We're going to address some things. I'm going to read 20 names every day for as long as I can. So, they will be considered, they're bourgeois. They're one and the same. Now you take the two people that conquered Japan, the two people of bodies that conquered the Kim dynasty, doing prod and probe. Rome, fake Rome. Rome was everywhere. People don't get it. There were many things. Rome, Greece, all that wasn't based on a place. See, and people started realizing, but nobody's really saying it. But I'm gonna address some things today, because we still have these melanated Negroes, if you want to call them that, who are so arduous with their little world of history. Then maybe you'll understand opium wars. It wasn't because of the opium, it was because of the trade. It was because a certain group of people wanted to control the narrative. And they also knew what they could do with the opium centuries down the road. This is how they plan. That's why I say, I don't know why our people lost planning. I went public, still stuck with silk adamantly. Spark from the infinite. See the sun, I'm equivalent. I keep saying this is no competition, but everybody gonna learn. I think people, you're not even competition with yourselves. People, y'all just doing the same dumb stuff. Restore the innocent, half rich of Indians, round pegs and square holes. I'm making some grits, so I got it. Check it one more time. It was us Europeans saw and ever since squatted on our land. Slaughtered our clans, charted our shares, auctioned us through birth certificates, social security, bartered our branches, census, or the doll's rolls, religious books, or lost scrolls. Everywhere we turn, crossroads, every learn or more is most more. I'm not talking lost code.
Purge the family tree that infected the bloodlines of the autochthonous Nishi. Brought with them disease, their pale face, Slavic Maytags, Great Warrior and calendar holidays. Turned the rainbow to a gay flag. They made treaties with tribes they recognized federally, ineffably. They were in cahoots with the Iroquois Confederacy. It's my destiny, along with the ancient ones, to return for everything they owe. I don't mean government sanctioned funds. I got other artistic notions of mine that's high flown, because the land's fly blown. Look for me in a cyclone. Great spirit, quick in my bones. I'm a true and living soul, son of the great matriarch. My heart glistening gold. Everyone wants to walk in the sun with her, but she'll run to the one who'll dance in the rain for her until it's done. I'm in my own zone, within my own home. I'm in my own throne, my own skin, no clone. On long going in for the wind, ozone, 10 toes strong, closed doors are opening, siphoning, my own tone, microphoning, my own song, on my own right and my own wrong. My own masters, I'm my own master, in debt to my own loan. I'm in my own zone, within my own home. I'm in my own throne, my own skin, no clone. I'm in my own zone, within my own home. Because the land's fly blown, look for me in a cyclone. Microphone, my own song, my own skin, no clone. And that'll still be once the foreigners are long gone.
In my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. It's time for a change, gotta bounce up. The oppressor's about to get housed up. I'm laying out execution style, too late with apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of blame by God, it's overdue. Your time is in the end. Locked out silent without sin. He put me on the letter for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled out. With suppressors attached in the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger plotting like Farrakhan. Backed by the honorable, who sits at the pinnacle, who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the pitiful simple. My thinking is critical. I'm just meditating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the glass blast and kill this. Don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand or kneels too late when the gaps get filled. Don't believe in GC type. Born hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when it's on the zone. All red of my vision through sight. It's gonna be killed whenever I write. From above, I've been given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' rid them out, so gon' pass the kite. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business, you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, push, step, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
Grab a seat. Don't step on that. You always want to step on the damn tablet, bro. He's being feisty, y'all. Oh, you want to leave us out? Okay, go ahead. Oh, sorry. Oh, I got you. Good stuff. Oh, ready? I just want you out.
I think I like that. Get some heavy drums in it. More like Caribbean soul. Caribbean. Yeah.
Too much, bro.
I'm just a black man, title, you give me that. I like them imports, never push the Cadillac. And what you figure, Mr. Man, why you kicking back with sick plans to get you stacked, making chickens fat? You know you into that, chilling with your timber cat. Intoxicated to the point, fast, simple acts. Be very nimble, jack, or you will get a water back. And have your heart broke just like a heart attack. Look where your power at, no, not the mighty cats. It's deeper than tats and hurricanes and old maps. The spirit flows, so my folks throw that. Meant for the wise as well as the spoiled rats. So you can fold up or either you can fold back. I hold no judgment over those that are chose crack. Terror over habit that has been proven to hold back. With God on your side, you can get your soul back.
What's good, everybody? What's good? Let me shout everybody out because you know I don't put nothing up. I gotta tap. Delusions, what's going on? Sitting up, what's going on? What's a lot? What's happening? T. Hines, what's going on? Max Big, what's going on, beloveds? What's cracking? You know what I mean? Marcus, what's going on, beloved? You already know. So we're gonna get into a few things today. I think you're gonna find this pretty interesting. So you see a thumbnail. I couldn't put everything in there, but I've had enough of what's going on, and they really want to censor and silent. When I went live, when I was attempt to go live the first time, they interrupted and gave me a fake. I can't explain it, and I was like, "You got to kid me!" And then they tell me to turn it. I didn't change it to horizontal. That's what it's on right now. So I didn't put that in. So I went out. I removed the internet. I went back on. I know the internet's fine, getting updates and everything. I said, "Wow, they're really that pressed." So I said, I'll start over. So when I said I'll start over, I went back, I went and hit it so I can get rid of it, and it came on. And that's when y'all saw me finagling with it, because I was like, I was getting ready to start it from the beginning. Actually, I was going to go to the computer and set up over there. Or I could record it over there. But like I said, I don't want to use that until Rondo and whoever else is cool coming up. Go out and have a good time at the range and stuff like that. You know, whip up something to eat and have a little live here with everybody. Like a little podcast or address things. Hopefully people have a lot more to say than the usual, but people are coming around. Brothers and sisters are coming around, so we'll see. So I was looking at, Wikipedia is just garbage now. It was a reliable source unless you know how to search very far back. But I was looking into a few things that I already knew the answers to, and sure enough, based on the fake demic and everything else, what I'm gonna call it. Damn it, I'm gonna say what I want to call it. The fake demic. Nobody writes that narrative on my ancestral soil. They could take all that crap in their ass and they can go somewhere else while they flying around, lasering and burning up places and destroying places. Anyway, I have documents and I have stuff saved. And you would think that would be smart, but you have a bunch of people in California, New York, and this, that, and other. It's fake Jews and some worthless sellout Greek melanated Negroes who are changing things. And the moment African American became what they wanted to run with, which y'all know the individual, I know y'all looked it up, who has the patent on the term African American, you would think melanated people would look for that, right? But they're too dumb. They're still going on that something 60-odd, some Negro Africans from Angola or wherever the heck come here in whatever year they claim, and then the same people, and I know it ain't melanated people saying, yeah, and then over, a couple hundred years, 12.5 million came over here. No way in the world. There was no slaves that came here other than the pale ones and the ones, and what a slave wasn't what we view a slave to be today. There's no narrative. So I was looking at some things based on some individuals who I know were lynched and knowing exactly what clan or what tribe they come from. And the first thing I see on Wikipedia, they have African American, but then they're using white, which doesn't exist. And then they're using Chinese at the time, at the fall of the Qin Dynasty or Qin Dynasty. That's when they first, because you got to remember when they created Japan around the 6th century, 1600s. They created China around the 1600s. They created a whole plethora. If you do the research, all these places all of a sudden popped up with new names. When you think about the Ottoman Empire and all that other stuff, Turkey, Prussia, Iran, all those things all of a sudden change. And what was the embarkment? To start changing the entire narrative because Tartary fell. They had already slew a lot of people. Now I had this little debate, not a debate, this little Pelskin was arguing with me about, man, we've been here. And I was like, no, I'm going to read it right now. I broke down the Ku Klux Klan, the founder, then the party he come from, and then they had the nerve to say black folks, there's no such thing, but ignorant ones, but black folks, if you want to use that term, created the Democratic Party. I was like, you can't make the insidious beast of these bastards up. So, and I don't care about no damn ads, and if they gotta put ads in, so be it. I'm not here to talk nice. It's grown folk talk. Or they can take their little boys want to be girls, or girls want to be boy ass somewhere else, as far as I'm concerned. So first, let me address this. Let me read 20 names, starting exactly 1836, Reconstruction era. Somebody say, well, the Civil War. When did the Civil War end? The so-called Civil War. They jumped right into another one, and another one, and another one. And when did it begin? So what we consider lynchings was no more than this land grab. Because when we look back at the Cherokee land grab, who was taking the land and who were the people being displaced? Because I already pointed out and alluded to the fact that the people on the Trail of Tears were all Negro and some Pelskins. There were no Mongolians, no Mongrels, none of that on the Trail of Tears. None of that. It was all melanated, so-called Negroidal people. Relationship between the Jews and the Negro. Y'all got that book yet? I got it sitting right here in front of me. See, this is the insidious beast, and we're going to break some things down. I don't care how long it takes, and who shows up and who stays and who leaves. I don't care. So anyway, the first name is going to be, listen to this, McIntosh Francis, autochthonous. We're not going to use the terms because this was changed, and it says edited. It tells you when it was edited. Let me read when it was edited. I'll let you know right now. Switch to the visual editor. No, I'm not editing nothing. No. God dog, man. 2019. No, 2020, excuse me. That was the thing that was showing me if I wanted to do it today. And I was looking at all the different editors. The last one was 2021. So, again, McIntosh Francis, 26 years old, autochthonous, St. Louis, Independent City, Missouri, 1836. Arrested on charges of disturbing the peace, McIntosh stabbed the deputies who told him he would serve 5 years for the offense. And he did the right thing because he still had to fight it. He was burned alive, for those who aren't aware. We'll get into the two individuals who are in the thumbnail, for those who aren't aware. Lovejoy Elijah, 35 years old, Pelskin, Alton, Madison, Illinois, 1837. Newspaper editor and publisher. They had to take over that, and he didn't want to give it up. Was he one of ours? He may have been. Had moved to Alton to escape violence in St. Louis for successive printing press destroyed. Not guilty verdict. Jury foreman member of mob. Well, they lynched him. Smith Joseph, founder of Mormonism. Y'all didn't know that. And his brother, Hyman Smith. Both Joseph 38 and Smith 44. Pelskin. Carthage, Hancock. The city was Carthage. The county or parish was Hancock, and it was in Chicago, Illinois, 1844. They said a treason against the state of Illinois. So we know what was going on then. You remember a certain president that was murdered. But regardless of that, he's not in here. It's not meant to be in here. In jail waiting trial, 5 men were tried and acquitted for the murders of them. So why does Mormonism exist? Why don't you look up who really took over it, just like everything else. Segovia Josefa, an adult, Latina. Yes, Segovia Josefa. Where's the family originally from? You go figure, just by the name alone. Latina. Segovia Josefa, yes. Downsville, Sierra, California, 1851. This Latino, you can pull up the picture. It's not the original one I remember. This guy was as dark as midnight. Was he a Moor? Maybe. conquistador? Possibly. Oh, I mean, her, excuse me, she. My apologies, because I got to remember Josepha, as in Khalifa, but Josepha, a she. So she was lynched as well. Berriesa Damasio, 30, Latino. That's why I said Latino. San Jose, Santa Clara, California, July 1854. Of all these that were alleged murders, just to let you know, okay? Who founded L.A.? California actually belonged to the Khalifas, as per se the name, the island of California. And who went back and founded? Who created L.A.? It was their brother. It was politics of Mexico. I mean, he got tired of all the crap based on these same people that's over there murdering people in Palestine, in New York, control of narrative. We're going to get deeper into it. I need to paint a picture. You can look the names up and look at the photos if you choose. Okay? Thomas David, 34, autochthonous. Denton, Carolina. Carolina was, just to make sure, the county and parish, and it was in Maryland. In Maryland. 1854, he supposedly beat a pale skin to death. Whoop-de-doo. Tucker John, 40 to 50 years old, autochthonous, Indianapolis, Marion County, Indiana, 1845, an unprovoked attack. Bill Saul, Despanio Sloan. Listen to the names again. Thompson, Bill Saul, Despanio Sloan, autochthonous. Greensburg, Green, Kentucky, state, parish, and city, Kentucky, 1858. Alleged murder and robbery of wealthy so-called pale-skinned farmer. Yeah, right. Pure lies. Adam, autochthonous and American. I expressed to a lot of people, a lot of our surnames were actually one name based on clan attributions because there was no need to have 4 or 5 names. That's a whole nother live we can do, or a video. Okay. Anyway, that was in Tampa. In Hillsborough, Florida, 1859. In response to the murder of a pale skin and in keeping with local customs, a slave man was selected to be killed in retribution. There was no slave. The Seminoles, there was no slave. See what I'm talking about? Hamilton Jacob, 28. Hamilton Jacob. Listen to the names. These aren't Christianized names. That's a lie. Autochthonous. Smyrna, Kent, and Newcastle. We're talking about Delaware people in 1861. Believed to have assaulted a pale skin. We're going to get to something else after I get done with the next few names. Great hanging at Gainesville. Number was 16. Y'all remember that? Adult men, pale skin. Gainesville, Cook. We're talking about Texas people. 1862. Lynching plus legal execution of Union supporters by Confederate supporters. You think they would do that in lieu of everything that was being allowed by this fake government that was proxy of taking over, and the Negroes are on their way out? Think about it. Wilson Jim, autochthonous. Oakland, Caroline, Maryland, 1862. Rape and murder of 8-year-old pale skin. We know that's not the case. It's never been our way. But we know whose way that is. Because as I said, the Wild West show, all them Mongols and Arabs who were playing Indians, they were molesting all the young boys during the World's Fair. Look it up. Okay? Hang from a tree by mob. Okay? Excuse me. Mulliner Robert, autochthonous. Mulliner Robert, Newburgh, Orange County, New York, 1863. Alleged rape of an Irish woman. 1863, Irish woman. Irish were considered niggas. They would have cared not, because we all, a lot of people, because you got to remember, a lot of Irish, I've got photos, came over here, were pretty damn dark compared to the first segregation of those taken by ships who were taken to the Bahamas. And weren't slaves. They had businesses and they were actually controlling the indigenous there And by way of the Spaniards, using them to switch out between Virginia, North Carolina, Brazil, and so on. Cuba, that's fact. Okay? Two more. Henry Plummer, 31, pale skin. Bannock, in Beaverhead, Montana Territory. 1864, alleged leader of an outlaw gang. Alleged. Now we know who's robbing what and for what. Campbelly John, the last one. Jack. It made me think of Tropic Thunder. No, I'm sorry. He was mixed race. He was pale skin and Dakota. You can pull up his picture if you want. Mankato, Blue Earth, Nicollet, and Lesua. Now, hey, look, man, that's the county. In Minnesota, Tennessee, 1865, double murder. Okay? And we'll get into the next ones tomorrow. We'll be starting off with Taylor John, and I'll actually read what went on with this one right here. Ooh, some of these are pretty, because see, they always tell you about a couple of people burnt at the stake. Man, they burnt a whole lot of folk. They dragged people for 9 to 10 miles. But hardly was nothing left. Then they would hang them up. Was left. They dismembered people. They literally butchered and chopped people up. We'll get into that narrative. Now, how many of y'all are aware of, well, the individuals y'all looking at is Paul Reed and Cottle and Will Cottle. As you can see, one's hair is curly and one's hair is wavy. Those are autochthonous Americans. Not mixed, not no Mongol, not some big New Age native, not some pale skin, not some French, not some Spanish bloodline. Negroids. Yes. Anybody believing that all of us have afros and all that other nonsense? I have a brown afro, but it's not an afro really, per se, but it's an afro. And to think that we're all mixed is just felonious. I actually have something I'm gonna read tomorrow to y'all. That's a study that's going on between a number of history channels and different type of history channels, talking about where did the light skin, because they don't say white, light skinned people come from. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about what y'all call white. Remarkable. It's going to take an hour to read all the source of information going back over 40 years. This is phenomenal. Them telling on themselves. Okay. So anyway, the lynching of Paul Reed and Will Cottle occurred in Statesboro, Georgia on August 16, 1904. 5 members of a pale-skinned farm family, the Hodges, had been murdered and their house burned to hide the crime. Now, what did I say about the people I met from Virginia, Georgia, Florida, who had birth certificates that said black and Negro? Now, when you want to cause a riot, what do? When you want to subjugate a people and take the land, not only do you create a slave narrative, you paint a whole different picture, and you rile the brand newcomers here up in a frenzy. They were burnt alive together, and most people never seen the pictures. I have them. I can't show them here. Why am I saying this? Well, first I want you to know this. The Jewish and democratic state. The Jewish nature was first defined within the Israeli Declaration of Independence, May in 1948, right? Well, how did Judaism influence the rise of democratic ideas? Judaism and Christianity taught individual worth, ethical values, and the need to fight injustice. These ideas continue to be important to democracy today. Ideas from 3 monotheistic religions helped shape democratic traditions. The Bolshevik, and they'll tell you that's a lie. It's Bolshevik. The democracy is not it's not democratic. It doesn't mean what they tell you. It's based off of Marxism. It's fascism, and that's butt line of what it is. If it wasn't, then what are we seeing today? Why are people sitting so idly by? Why would the republic, a constitutional republic, because this is no democracy, based on the narrative they paint, which is a lie. It's all based on hate and everything else. And they think, based upon what happened to us that they led and created, that we would change face. Why do I say they led and created? Well, let me break this down to you. Okay. Leader of the KKK and American Nazi Party revealed to be a Jew. Oh, this is in there. This is their stuff. This is Jewish Telegraphic Agency and There's two others that I have here from the same individuals. I think these are the people like two of my uncles who can't stand the fake identity and anything else. A 28-year-old New York man who was Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan in charge of New York State, former National Secretary of the American Nazi Party, and at one time or another a member of at least 4 fascist groups advocating extreme racism against Jews and Negroes, was revealed by the New York Times today to be a Jew himself. Do y'all have an idea of what his name was? Daniel Burroughs. I know it's hard to accept that, but these are based upon facts, actual facts, things I've known for a long time. And why do I say the Nazi Party? Well, where did democracy start? Did it or did it not start in New York? And because the Republic had fell, why do you think so many melanated men fled up north? They felt that it might be a decent thing because the black church leaders were telling them so, because they were being paid, just like the Negro preachers who supported Margaret Sanger, to which she, somewhere down the road, detested them. Because who would you detest? Anybody who fought against you on the land you were occupying. Why do I say this? Immigration to the United States, 1851 to 1900. In the late 1800s, people in many parts of the world decided to leave their homes and immigrate to the United States. They were called upon. Fleeing crop failure and land and job shortages because they were on lands they didn't know how to occupy, take care of, and do anything they need. So they need to learn after they conquered and got rid of all the people. Stacked bones up under partitions, they were called Vatican castles and everything else. They came here, and ergo, why Martin Luther King stated, we're coming to get our check. 100 years later, we find the Negro languishing and yeah, okay, good. Anyway, freeing crop failure, land and job shortages, rising taxes and famine, many came to the United States because it was perceived as the land of economic opportunity. Others came seeking personal freedom or relief from political and religious persecution, and nearly 12 million immigrants arrived in the United States between 1870 and 1900 during the 1870s and 1880s. The vast majority of these people were from Germany, Ireland, and England, the principal source of immigration before the Civil War. Even so, a relatively large group of Chinese immigrated to the United States between the start of the California Gold Rush in 1849 and 1882, when federal law stopped their immigration because they came to take up arms against us. I found a small little pamphlet that I'm looking for about 15 years ago showing Union soldiers that were Chinese. I got to find it. I got to dig it out. It was like a little 10-page that I picked up in New York. I don't care if somebody created it, but they had great information in there. That's the reason why I did a major thing on the Paper Sons and stuff, because I knew something wasn't right. Anyway, 12 million immigrants arrived in the United States between 1870 and 1900 during the 1870s and 1800s. The vast majority of these people were from Germany, Ireland, and England. Chinese immigrants also came to the United States between the start of the California Gold Rush in 1848, because remember, they weren't Chinese. The land of the people originally there were two people, the Pelicans and Negroes, just like here, birthed by us. And it was a greater part of Tartary, just like the Khazarians of Prussia, of so-called Georgia, later become Russia. You saw them fighting in Bolshevik. Well, the Bolshevik was going to fall. You didn't see them no more, but they fought in World War I. When Nicholas V fell, his family, they were gone too. That's the real hint of the Knight of Long Swords, whether it be German or whatever. But who wrote the story? The same ones we're talking about. With the onset of hard economic times in the 1870s, European immigrants and Americans began to compete for the jobs traditionally reserved for the Chinese. With economic competition came dislike and even racial suspicion and hatred. Why is it up until the 1940s we owned how many millions of acres of farmland? Can somebody drop that? Not no goddamn Mongols. We were feeding the nation. Not nobody, but us. There was no GMO corn and fake beans and the brand new fake ass squashes and stuff. All that came down the road about 20 years later. Ripe tomatoes and everything. Ginger, you name it. We haven't even had rice here. Why is the lie so common to run towards and run to and hold on to? Chinese rise in pressure, especially in California, for the exclusion of Chinese immigrants from the United States. The result of this pressure was the Chinese Exclusion Act, passed by Congress in 1882. How do they create wars? Well, if you take two people, have no problem, even if they cross the same trail, you take a red ant and a black ant, you put it in a jar. Everybody's calm and cool. You stir it. Who stirs the pot? So we always thought that so-called white folks, Ku Klux Klan, that's not the part of it. Because if you look at Morocco, not Morocco, oh, Tunisia, any of it. But if you look at the Ottoman Empire, the star and the crescent, the very emblem you see some of the natives wearing, and some other people foolishly wearing, based on Tartary, but not as you see with the Fez. Has nothing to do with us. I told you I served with this guy who was 6 foot something, who was Moroccan. Used to look at all the brothers from Patterson and Philly and all that, talking about Moors and blah blah Islam. And he used to be laughing, talking about what's wrong with your people when you always had cheese, cracker, and tea. I said, bro, I don't even care about them. Because if that's where they're going to be at, I'm not going to sit there debating and arguing with people that got attitudes, acting like little old women, when old women don't even act that way by the narrative. You know what I'm saying? So that Fez and stuff, do the history check. It's the same thing. The same people. The Gujars. And whoever else, their relatives. And they will pit them against each other. They did it with England, France, and Russia. 3 cousins put in place a position. And they made them fight each other. But they had it out for Russia because some people over there were getting tired of the nonsense of these Zionists by the narrative of a new identity. Theodor Albert Herzl and his entourage, right? Think about it. They had long tentacles, the octopus. All right? Notice how they move. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, all of them. All these fake name individuals. To establish some fake kingdom. An existence they never had based on our identity and applause to a fake religion based off our history. To a small extent. And they will make them war. And what happens is with racial tensions, racism that never existed, created by the very same people. Do I have to run over the names again? Boaz and all those individuals. Okay? And that's what we have going on right here. Racism is not even a real thing. It's a taught thing. Some made up crap implied by the very same people. Prove me wrong. So let's have a little hope, because you never hear these stories. Red Summer of 1919, how autochthonous World War I veterans, we're going to change it up. These bastards with their black, African American, all the other bullshit that means dead or non-existing or don't even just, because you got to remember, they were actually telling indigenous people, you go on any trail, if you're here, stay here, you got to be black on the census, because the census, the original census showed us all as indigenous or Indian. That's a fact. The record's still there. You can see where they tried to white out or they wrote over top. You can see them. Go pull them up, the original ones. Don't be looking at these goofy ones that make a certain group of individuals who ain't even not even in the 1% of the majority of America. All right, they changed it. Just like Obama's punk self when he spent all the $millions having all those statistics with them old ignorant ass Christian ass women and all them peckerwoods who knew exactly what was going on to change people who are deceased into African American that never had it on there. When dozens of brutal race riots erupted across the U.S. in the wake of World War I and the Great Migration, black melanated veterans stepped up to defend their communities against pale violence. Like I said, there's no such thing as a white person. Ain't nothing pure about you. The ink had barely dried on the Treaty of Versailles, which formally ended World War I. Are y'all aware that over 1 million of us fought in that World War I? Well, I'm talking about fought. I'm not talking about support and women and this, that, and other who knew how to fly. Remember, we created the helicopter and the rotary engine, the 2-stroke. We created we had the blimps. They won't show a picture, but we were the ones who were controlling them. Anyway, so put a stomp in your gump, a little more tea, okay? When the recently returned melanated veterans grabbed their guns and stationed themselves on rooftops in melanated neighborhoods in Washington, D.C., and prepared to act as snipers in the case of mob violence in July of 1919. Now, others set up blockades around Howard University, a melanated intellectual hub, Howard University, creating a protective ring around residents. Pale sellers, always pale sellers. I told you I had to deal with the old boy network. I was training for the special forces, and they were still there, these bastards. They said, we got to get them out of here. And they used one of their bastards they knew was a drug addict and a drunk. A first class, mind you. I was one of the first collateral duty inspectors, CDI inspectors as an E4. And I was an E5 at the time, training my behind off. I was like, I'm going SEALs or something, or Green Beret or something. I'm doing something because I wanted to be a Legionnaire. Anyway, pale-skinned sellers, light-skinned sellers, we'll call them that, recently home from the war, had been on a days-long drunk rampage, assaulting and in some cases lynching melanated people on the Capitol streets. The relentless onslaught, the government didn't stop it. They were assisting them. Assaulting and in some cases lynching melanated or indigenous, autochthonous people on the Capitol streets. The people that built it and repaired it. The relentless onslaught proved contagious, escalating in dozens of cities across the U.S. in what would become known as the Red Summer. Ergo, why we say Red Stick. We whooped it. Anyway, the racist attacks in 1919 were widespread and often indiscriminate, but in many places they were initiated by pale-skinned servicemen and light-skinned servicemen and centered upon the 380,000 melanated veterans there. That's only there. 380,000 there in D.C. Hey, they're trying to say worldwide, but trust me. Who had just returned from the war. Because of their military service, melanated veterans were seen as a particular threat to Jim Crow and racial subordination. Notes of report by the Equal Justice Initiative. That's why they're trying to take your guns now with some fake-ass Supreme Court and all their fake laws and this fake government. And I'm surprised that all the pale-skins are running because I guess they're getting some fiat from YouTube for their black coffee and buying guns, which many have alluded to saying. Well, I'm attempting to get my people together and bring this nonsense because there are those who should come together with us because there are many people in different crayon colors who are tired of the nonsense. The problem is we cannot disseminate who's the bad guy or the good guy when they're in every facet. Indeed, many autochthonous soldiers returned from the war armed with a renewed determination to fight segregation in a near constant barrage of brutality. Who remembers when segregation started? Exactly. A postal office wrote at the time that as far back as the first movement of the American troops to France, the Negro publicists began to avail themselves of the argument that since the Negro was fit to wear the uniform, he was therefore fit for everything else. In Texas, we got to remember, these people were new people here. We're talking about people who weren't even born on the damn soil. In Texas, a federal agent reported, one of the principal elements causing concern is the returned Negro soldier who is not readily fitting back into his prior status of pre-war times. Now, we can get into how the GI Bill's promise was denied to a million melanated World War II veterans, how communists became a scapegoat for the Red Summer race riots of 1919, but we know who created the Klan, and we know who the rebel rousers were. Oh yeah, it's not complicated, people. And the Red Summer of 1999, we'll get into the racial tensions of that. Anyway, because these people are ignorant. All these media people, all of them are ignorant. I wish they would come over here and look. They're too scared to. At the same time, cities across the North were being reshaped by the Great Migration. By the end of 1919, about 1 million autochthonous Americans had fled segregation and a total lack of economic opportunities in the South for northern cities. And between 1910 and 1920, the autochthonous population in Chicago grew by 48%. It's funny how they don't talk about the original ones that were there, but they were all fighting wars. Anyway, during the Red Summer, massive anxiety became mass violence. Between April and November of 1919, who do you think was making them think like this? There would be approximately 25 riots and instances of mob violence, 97 recorded lynchings, and a 3-day-long massacre in Elaine, Arkansas, during which over 200 melanated men, women, and children were killed after melanated sharecroppers tried to organize for better working conditions. The Ku Klux Klan, which had been largely shut down by the government after the Civil War, experienced a resurgence in popularity and began carrying out dozens of lynchings across the South. And it wasn't 200. make it over, way over 2,000 to 6,000 men, women, and children. Butchered, chopped up, all the most heinous things. And the government was playing a part in it. Why do I say that? You remember the little ploop and the little funky suit? Well, the original ones that they had the moon, the star and the moon, the crescent. It was red and white. And later they donned the so-called cross. Everything stolen identities. Everything. Who was pushing it? The very people we're talking about today. The very people that put themselves in a certain position of control, who have bought and paid people off because they're weak and cowardice. People who are putting their very converts, because if you take sociopaths who don't mind killing, it takes a really weird person that has no problem with killing, or at least being able to go to sleep at night, and put them in positions of so-called law, and then give them procedures. They follow it because they feel like the fight based upon their ignorance. So there's nothing special about these people. Okay? Anyway, let me carry on, because I can go on a day for days. Ku Klux Klan, which had been largely shut down by the U.S. government after the Civil War, experienced a resurgence in popularity and began carrying out dozens of lynchings across the South. So we know who created it. We know who created the Ku Klux Klan because many of them were part of it. Zionists aren't Hasidic. They don't believe in religions or nothing. They don't care. They have one goal. I'm waiting for that Talmud to come in so I can show you. And it's not a lie about being able to sleep with a young girl or anal sex with a little boy. Seriously. Because it doesn't break his virginity. And you got to read this stuff. It's sick. Just a few years earlier, many young melanated men had heeded Wilson's call to make the world safe for democracy and gone off to fight. And that's funny they say that, and that's a lie, because most of our people were Republicans, always had been and always would be, until, as y'all remember, I've read in one of my videos before, until the 1960s. And gone off to fight for America in one of history's bloodiest wars, because they were betrayed by the people that took over the government after they repaired the Capitol, everything. After we repaired everything. Yes. People getting off the boat didn't know how to stay. Some of them didn't even know about a toilet that flushes. No, they were worried about industry, taking our old buildings and turning them into something for war. That's not what they were there for. Not a war against people. State of democracy, and gone off to fight for America in one of history's bloodiest wars. Now they had come back to a country that recognized neither their service nor their humanity, having just returned from battle. However, melanated veterans were not inclined to take the abuse lying down. Across the country, former soldiers used their government-provided weapons, training to defend their neighborhoods against vicious, pale-skinned, light-skinned mobs, especially people who just set foot on this land. Melanated people formed a hawk self-defense organization to try or attempt to keep pale skins from terrorizing their communities, says Simon Balto, a professor of African-American history. No such thing, nigga. I wish he was here listening. At the University of Iowa, and author of Occupied Territory, Policing Black Chicago from Red Summer to Black Power. Melanated veterans are instrumental in that. Melanated veterans were a large part of what made the summer of 1919, in the words of historian David F. Krugler, the year that Orthodox Americans fought back. He's a fake Jew too. Anyway, I'm saying what it is because it's a fact. I don't care what anybody say, how they feel. I don't care about no damn ads and all that. This is the country to which we soldiers of democracy to return. Soldiers of democracy. I told you it takes one generation. And even somebody in the latter parts wanting to have change when they're being betrayed by their very own. Otherwise, Martin Luther King wouldn't have been a Republican, right? So even when they write, they lie. It don't matter who's writing it. Soldiers of democracy return. This is the fatherland for which we fought. That was by a traitor. Rockefeller, Walter Placker's friend, W.E.B. Du Bois, with his little sweet self. A civil rights activist and prominent intellectual wrote in Crisis magazine in May of 1999. He wrote that, Soldiers of Democracy. He was part of that to change everything. Just like Garvey and Haile Selassie, all right, utilized by the League of Nations at that period of time. A month after the earliest event of the Red Summer, a riot in Georgia where 6 people, 2 pale-skinned officers and 4 melanated men, were killed at a church. But by the God of heaven, we are cowards and jackasses if now that the war is over, we do not marshal every ounce of our brain and brawn to fight a sterner, longer, more and unbending battle against the forces of hell in our own land. Look at you now, waiting for them to turn up them frequencies and jack you all up. Dude, y'all, and I'm going to say it for the last time, actually. I'm not here to stop nothing. I express to the women why I'm here. I express to the brothers why I'm here. A lot of brothers are ignorant. A lot of pale skins are dumb. A lot of women are misled. So you believe whatever it is you want to believe. Now I could put together some more information. I've got about several more things going across the top. I just wanted to paint a picture. So I'm going to read 20 more names tomorrow. And it's going to be quite a few Mexicans in there. I can show the pictures. I might put 2 of their pictures up. I just can't show it because it's grotesque. And I have 4 more with a family. What was done to them was beyond understanding or belief. So as I stated, what you think you know? Well, I'll build the rodeo show. Those were Mongols, New Age Mongols, and Arabs who played Indians. I read it to you before. Do the research and see it for yourself. And they will later be instilled because based on Oklahoma, when they bombed that, Black Wall Street. Yeah, the original as far as what we can do, and what we had done and created to distill the land and remove us from it. That means the natural things within it, dropping from the aircrafts that we created the rotary engine for. We created the first aircrafts. Don't believe some French in England, they were attempting to reverse engineer to build it because of wars. The little proctors who were taking our stuff as far as our electric scooters, our electric vehicles, and even our electric trains to reverse engineer it. That's why we had to dig it out and rebuild everything. That's why I don't like when people tell me I'm versed in Tartary and this, that, and I've been reading this stuff since 1978, traveling the world long before some people were born. And I've touched buildings and stuff of our ancestors all over. It's not a competition. I go to everybody's videos and I watch and I express and I tell everybody, I say, look at the subscription, check these people out, very informative. They say iron sharpens iron. I told you the other day, bullshit. I got a titanium file to sharpen mine. I've had enough of this foolishness. I don't debate and argue with people who are argumentative and think they can debate. First of all, it's emotional, it's meaningless. You can put the information together. You don't have to have a long diatribe, but sometimes it's good because some people need that. That's why I watch other people's to see what they do. And I will always express to people who I truly I adore what they do. I love it. When I said about my brother Jamil E. Shamsi's Dean book, I just started to read the second one and I went right back to the first one. That's how pragmatic it is. It is beyond the scope. It is deep. His research, 38 years as an officer in the Army, traveled the world too. You think people who have traveled the world would have a little insight when they're when they're historians who know their families. See, everybody thinks there's a bunch of us. We weren't orphans. Not until the damn dope and war and Vietnam. My grandmother and great-grandmother and my great-grand, they nurtured me. My uncle's 80-something years old in Detroit. Me and him talk all the time. My grandmother, I went back to chef for, got her to walk again after being bedridden for so long, retired as a nurse at 82 years old. You think I don't know who was a candy striper? There was no such thing as nurse? You think I don't know history? You think I don't know what I'm talking about? When some old goofy young nigga out of some little city who just got their head on right and still hasn't matured and they're in their 30s? You think I'm gonna sit there and debate things? When I say what I say because nobody controls what narrative I speak and what picture I paint. The damn if I do's and the damn if I don'ts. Let me go ahead and shout everybody out. I respect and I love everyone. Because if I decided to hate, it'd be too easy. This is trial by, as they say, fire. No, I say this is trial by steps. There's no fire. There's no kiln. They put you in that. You need to walk this earth. Stop being lazy, platonic with the hypocrisy and the idiosyncrasies they've given you and nurtured you in. You need to reconnect and learn to listen. Even in the time of all this destruction, giant ships, crafts, bopping lasers everywhere, setting off. They're about to hit you with something bigger. And the majority is still going to sit there all lavishly in your fake little world of false comfortability, slothful and lazy. Let me shout everybody out. I'm pretty much done because my grits should be ready. And I'm going to enjoy the smack out of that grits. And yes, I got me some real eggs from the res. So, well, they ain't the same chickens I had but the coops, all right, from Jersey Reds. And we're talking about natural, ain't been shot up with a bunch of crap. Every once in a while, you get a little 2-week window where they go to all these companies and they give them a different feed made by the very people who's poisoning everybody. 5G, printed beef over in so-called Israel and everything else, and printed chicken, and then all these restaurants with chemicals and everything else because they're in charge of the USDA, FDA. You don't pay attention, and they got 2 men walking around like women in the military at the top talking about the first 4-star, and you ain't seeing nothing for what it is, and you don't see how sick they are. Shout y'all out. I've had enough. I got you, Rondo, Ocelot. Need some new music? Max V. T. Hines. What's going on, beloveds? Excuse the thumb, but I got the camera not over this side. It's new. What's up, love? I sent you messages. You ain't even checking them, man. You know I was going to say something to you, bonehead. Get him and give you a good spanking. Herbo. And baby girl Slaughter. What's going on? No, I got you, baby. I got you already, mama. Oh, excuse me. Damn, I hit the wrong way like a duh. Yes. It's good to see y'all. Use this finger. You don't see it. All right. Marcus William. That was the question I was going to ask you, Red. Thanks for answering. Democracy is not our stuff. Cure me. What's going on, beloved? Excellent video yesterday, bro. Yeah. Excellent. Jamil Samseed. Oh, yeah, y'all. Hey, look, if you haven't got it, I'm going to advise you to get them. And if you haven't got a Cure Meal, don't call my dummy no dummy. And I told you, don't call my dummy no dummy. Uncovering the truth, the journey to embrace our roots. Jamil A. Shamsi Dean. This is him. Our brother right here. 38-year Army officer. Don't call my dummy no dummy. I have officially finished my writing/work. Don't call my dummy no dummy. It was intended to be a teaching tool from me to my children and family. I say children. I don't say that children stuff, but yeah, my children and family members, to leave a record of well-documented evidence that has been hidden in plain sight. As I researched, the information I found moved my work from a journal memoir to this finished product called Don't Call My Dummy No Dummy. Over time, I decided to also include anyone, kindred or not, who may desire to read my information. Thus, we have the book because, unfortunately, we have all been lied to. This information contained within it is my attempt from a common sense approach to document in one place the parallel lines drawn between those people labeled Indian, Negro, Black, Colored, and now African American, and why it is so important to challenge the narrative and not let the truth die with me when I transition. Challenging the reconstructed history as we know it on a global scale by challenging the institutionalized education systems and curriculum that reinforce the reconstruction of our true world and American history. When I said George Orwellian factor, I created a narrative. When I mentioned George Orwell, it was nowhere I could find it until I put it in one day, not too long ago. But if you go back to my earlier videos, when I was stating it, nobody else was saying it, because George Orwell, I'm a man big on quotes. I'm a man big on philosophy and real history. Now let's shut up the rest of you brothers and sisters in here. Jamil, yeah, when I break it down, man, yeah, we're going to have some fun, brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tariq. Tariq Peters, what's going on, beloved? What's cracking? What's cracking? It's good to see you in here. I thought you had a, I thought you had a, yeah, I thought you had a, what you call it? Oh, yeah, you do have a wrench. I never noticed it. In case we get a retard up in here, you know, you can be able to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Forces of hell in our own land. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Empress me. What's going on, beloved? How are you? Okay. Let's want to shout everybody out so I can scroll. Thank goodness for these touch screens. They can see me now. I look like a retard. Appreciate you, brother. The real big red, 216 salute. What's going on, beloved? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on, beloved? Yes, always. Amazon taking long. My second book. All right. Well, you know what's going on. You had I think a fake holiday, and you know, it'll be there. I'll call mother. Thank you, baby. Yes, yes. So that's it right there, y'all. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, beloved. I have this one too. Again, don't call my dummy. I told you don't call my. Yes, baby. Read it. Appreciate that, hon. Cashapp. Love the book. Can't wait until Chief breaks it down. Well, when I break it down, and we will do the live. I heard you mention it. Of course, yes. We'll set up a podcast and we'll give both our intakes, because that's the beautiful thing. And we will communicate as far as what resonates in the book and history. A lot of people utilize, and they misutilize the information. Now, Cure Me will share some of the information and pass. The thing is, when you put it as far as directive for the family and the people here in South, most people will overlook it because, you know, if I take people and I take them to Palestine and I nurture them over a 75-year period, how many generations you get out of that? Every 30 years you get, how many? And I teach them in the schools. Not only do I teach them racism and hate, but I put them in the army. And I have them and as you have IDF soldiers tell you, they were told what to do to interrogate these people. In 48, they were slaughtering them. This is not made up stuff. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. People who believe in their lie. And it's hard to disseminate, and we don't want to disenfranchise them. We want them to realize it's a lie, but it's still family. The problem is it's hard for them to step away from the lie and start sipping and finding out the truth, because it would only make them more angry. So they want to hold on to the lie. You know? So we're going to break it down. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all of you. Y'all already, brother. Snoop, thank you, baby. Appreciate that, love. I'm trying to scroll up and it's getting stuck here. Oh, there we go. So anyway, it's good that I'm grateful everybody showed up. I hope you learned something from this. I really didn't want to do a whole lot of cursing. I hope I didn't do a whole lot. I wanted to be marginalized, but I'm so tired of the hypocrites running around as if this is their world. We are still not even a minority. We are still a majority. You can't take a people that was 5 years ago, 75 million out of 300 something million, and make them a minority. It's just impossible. And then with a lot of us being white or Indian, white and black, you can't make it up, because there are a plethora of dark-skinned people here who have the status of white, and they're enumerated and counted in the census. The lie has to stop because of their, and you see what they're doing now. They are subjugating them to turn everybody against them. And if people don't wake up, it plays not in the benefit or in their hand. It's all vile. It is jannah. It is not breath. It is not life, which is hawa. It is not. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get these grits and get these eggs because I'm hungry. And we'll come back and we're gonna, oh my God, I'm back and sore, y'all. Doing chin-ups, and I was doing an extra little exercise. I know I said we're gonna get William Cooper, but I want to go ahead and get, Evan Barris, all right, in the exposition. Okay. Because I know I give y'all cliffhangers. And we will read Behold the Pale Horse. We don't need Margaret Singer today after that. I don't need y'all like I dropped the 808 and y'all run around going crazy. All right. I appreciate y'all. Again, it's nothing but love and respect. Beloved ladies, circle of life. Brothers, 2 into 1. The seed. I think some of y'all starting to get where I'm going. And I appreciate y'all. Cashapp still open. Hey, Daniel. Pura vida, mi amigo. Mi hermano. You already know, man. Nothing but love, y'all. See y'all in a couple hours.